So back then I was like doing maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 a month, and I'm now clearing 6,500 a month.
My name's Tony. I'm a senior success coach here at NPE, and we know that growing your client base and your income is hard. We believe every Fit Pro needs a plan to succeed. And today, I'm really excited to introduce you to Janelle. And Janelle is a client in our auto closer program, and she's done amazing things with her business. And so I'm really excited to share her story. So let's dig right in here. So Janelle, good to see you today. How's everything going?
Amazing today. It's so good. It hasn't snowed yet, so we're good.
Hallelujah. Yeah, I stopped complaining about cold weather here in Indiana when I started talking to people in Canada, where Janelle is. So Janelle, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from, and how long have you been in the fitness industry?
So I am from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and that is in between of Montana and North Dakota. So if you head north, that's where we're at. And I've been in the industry since, let's see, I got certified back in August of 2016.
All right, great. So about 6 years.
Yeah.
What got you started in the fitness industry?
A really long story, but I will try to cut it down. Probably about 18 months prior to that, I had my own pretty substantial fitness journey. I got this incredible chance to work with a trainer for free for a couple of months, starting January of 2015. And it had such an impact on me. And the results that I saw just in those 3 months just kept me going. And when he had asked me, he said, what's your goal? And I was like, what, so I can fail? Awesome. That's great. But he kept me going. And for 18 months, I was able to lose about 85 pounds, just over 50 inches. And that's kind of what got me into it. Lots of people had kind of commented along the way, you should become a coach. You should become a coach. You'd be really good at it. And it's like, whatever. And then, but it was actually the day that my trainer had said to me, just out of the whim, he's like, I think you should become a coach. And that really meant something to me. So that got the ball rolling, and that's how I got into it.
That's awesome. I love that. So what type of clients do you work with in your business now?
So now I work mostly actually with me. That's like anybody who's me, right? Anywhere between 35 and 55-ish, give or take a few years. And the people, I love working with the people who are intimidated to walk through those gym doors. They've never been in a gym before. Or even the ones who are like, no one can help me. I don't know what else to do. I'm too far gone. I can't do this. Come work with me. That's who I love to work with.
So people, you can have a powerful impact on their life, just like your life was changed, right?
Absolutely. My goal when I became a trainer, my goal was to try to someday be that person to someone that my trainer was to me. That was my goal. And so that's what I'm striving for every time I have a client.
Love it. So what goals were you looking to achieve with your business that led you to connect with us here at NPE?
It really just boiled down to consistency and growth. I needed some consistency, and I was looking for growth. Because I wanted to do this full time. I wanted to get rid of my corporate job. I wanted this full time, and I needed help.
Yeah, and what challenges were you facing that were stopping you from being able to do this full time?
Well, part of it was doing, the full-time corporate job and then training early morning, at night. So I was just constantly burning myself out. I didn't have a lot of time to actually do any actual growth, so to speak. But when I left my corporate job and I actually got to look at what my business actually was, the challenge actually was I had the knowledge of business because I was in finance for the last 11 years. I have the knowledge of business. I have the knowledge of fitness. I couldn't effectively merge the two together to make a solid business plan. I had these two, but I couldn't do this. So that was one of the yeah.
Yeah. And so how were you feeling at this time before you came to us? You'd been working at this for a while. and just couldn't quite put it all together. But personally, how was that impacting?
It was so incredibly frustrating and so defeating. You put so many hours into your passion just to have it go right and not really bring not a lot of happiness, not a lot of passion back into your life. It's just, and it's hard to watch your dream just go nowhere, right? So it was really, really hard. I had everything I needed. I just didn't know what to do with it. And I was worried that, if I couldn't figure it out, I was just going to end up as one of those statistics of one of those people who couldn't make it in the fitness industry. And I didn't want that. That's not what I was meant to do.
Yeah, because if you don't make it, you can't serve anybody. You can't change anybody's life like your life was changed. So how did you first hear about NPE, and what really inspired you to join and start working with us?
Oh, that was, hearing about NPE was completely by chance. So with my CanFit Pro certification, we have to do continuing education credits every year to keep this the renewal going. And I stumbled across a webinar that I was able to earn credits. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's an hour, listen, answer a few questions, I'm good, right? And the webinar that I chose, it didn't really resonate with me at all. Like I think it was about changing, like getting into the pandemic. Like, how do you change your business to work within the pandemic? And I thought, I don't have a business, so there's not much I need to change. But I went through it. But there was something in there, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but it made me sign up on the mailing list. Just let's see what this group has, right? Like maybe there's some nuggets I can pull from it. And then there was an email that got sent out, and it was a free webinar about how to retain clients. Oh, there we go. This is what I'm looking for, right? So I got on it, and it was 8 o'clock at night. I'm getting ready for bed while I'm listening to this thing. And at the end, of course, there was a little bit of a sales pitch of, hey, you know what? Have an hour session, free session with one of our coaches for a goal planning session, right? 10:30 at night, my lights are out. I'm sitting on my bed going, I should do this. It's free. What's it gonna hurt? And I think it was the next day you and I talked. And that's how I got into talking to you, getting into NPE. But at the end of the day, this was my last ditch attempt. I knew that if I couldn't work with you guys and turn my business around with you guys, that was it. So I knew when I went into that goal planning session that everything was on the line. And I needed to take everything for what it was worth. And within 5 seconds, you were able to turn what I was saying into a goal that resonated so deeply with me that I needed to do it. I had to do it. There's no choice.
So this was it. This is gonna work, or we're just gonna stay in corporate America.
Yep. That's it.
Well, I remember that conversation. Yep. And so when you started with us, how many clients did you have?
Oh God, I think I had like 2, maybe 3. I had 2 consistent ones. One was in and out, and then switched with a different one. Like it was just, it wasn't good.
Okay. And how much more were you making per month with your training business?
More. So back then I was like doing maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 a month. And I'm now clearing 6,500 a month with about 9 clients. And they're
amazing.
Consistent. It is absolutely incredible. I never ever dreamed that this would happen.
So from about 1,000 a month to 6,500 per month, and you just started with us last fall.
Yep.
As well. And so, that's what's so exciting about this is, we're still early in this journey, and you've come so far. So compared to where you are and where you are now, how does that make you feel with where you are right now with your business?
So incredibly empowered to do whatever I want to do. I can take my business wherever I want. I can make the decisions. I can keep taking risks, keep challenging myself to keep growing and, to do new things. And it's all going to be okay. And that's the important thing. That's the thing that I need to keep reminding myself. Everything is going to be okay. And just take it one step at a time, keep moving forward. And honestly, there's that relief too, right? The relief that I actually can do this full time. I can pay all of my bills without help, without having to get a second job, this is all me. I get to, every dollar I bring in is because of me, not because of I'm working for somebody else.
That's amazing. And that is so inspiring. And I know you're going to inspire a lot of people who are watching this interview as well. So tell us, from the programs, I know you started with our Kickstart program, now you're in the Auto Closer program, but what are some of the things from the program that were the most helpful to you?
So honestly, at the end of the day, it was a whole package thing, but the two that really stood out for me was definitely the pricing and packaging. Because I was selling packages of 20 sessions instead of commitments of months, right? 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. And that did a complete 180 of how clients looked at training programs, right? And how they were going to meet their goals. And then also narrowing down, finding my avatar. I was that person that everybody is of, I can work with anybody and everybody, right? And that's exhausting and very, very hard. And so being able to narrow down, it's incredible how many people just kind of gravitate to you when you actually do say, you know what, it's okay. I only work with these people and it's okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just that clarity and that specific. So you're making more money than you ever thought was possible, working with the types of people that you love working with.
Yeah.
And so,
exactly.
that's amazing. So kind of walk through, as you put things together, what you did, starting, step one with NPE and solving the problems that you had with your business.
You know what? Honestly, it was actually, it's pretty simple. I had to strip down my current business. I had to strip it down to the bare bones and rebuild it with everything that I learned from NPE. That was just the be all and end all of it, all of it. But when I first started with NPE, I fought tooth and nail to not have to rebuild, to not have to strip down, because it's hard admitting that what you've put together, what you've built, isn't working.
Yeah.
It's really hard to admit that. And so I fought against it and I fought against it. And I've got a really smart business coach who likes to say, bless and release. And that's exactly what I had to do with my old business plan, or whatever that was. I had to bless it. It got me where it got me, and I had to release it, knowing that it's not gone forever. It's still there. And once I got through that, and instead of changing what I had to make NPE fit, I took NPE and tried to make my old stuff fit as it could. If it worked for me before and was going to work with this new process, then I slipped it back in. It's not gone forever. I just had to switch and turn it around.
I love it.
So that's the process. It was really hard work, but that's pretty simple. Like, that's all it was.
Yeah, it is. And you have to have the courage. We talk about all the time, have courage, practice faith. You've got to have the courage to change something and change a system and a process that's not working.
Yeah.
And have faith that what you're learning is going to work and is going to take you to where you want to be. So how do things look like for you now with success at this level compared with your business? What's a typical week look like for you compared to where you were when you started with the program?
Big time. There is consistency now. I've got consistent clients. I have as fairly consistent times as I can. You know, I've got my chunks where I take some time off in the afternoons so I can regroup, right? And I get to, and during that time, I get to take a look at where I'm at, where I want to be, and I get a chance to and be in a position where I can be proactive versus reactive. And that is so huge, because reacting is exhausting, because you're always in that fight or flight system, right?
Yeah.
And you can't be there, because I need to be there for my clients.
100%. 100%. So a much better state of being for you. So what's next for you? What's your next big target?
Next big target, I would love to open my own space. I'm just not ready for it yet. There is, I have the two choices. Do I want to have this amazingly epic home gym that I bring my clients to? Or do I want to have my own brick and mortar private place that I can open up to my clients plus other people? The pendulum is still swinging way too far in between the two of them. So that just tells me that I'm just not quite ready yet to make a decision on that. But it's getting a little bit closer. So we're getting there. But that's my next goal, because
Excellent.
I want stability for my own clients.
Excellent. Just continuing to work on that clarity of vision and what you're going to do next. How can you most impact the people around you and help the most people in your community with what they want to do? I love it. So what would you say is your number one lesson learned from your time with NPE so far?
Get out of my own way. Like, seriously. Just get, like, oh my goodness, like, just stop being attached to the outcomes and stop worrying. Trust yourself, not worry about the what ifs. Let it happen. It'll happen as you keep moving forward, one step at a time.
I love it. And what would you say, Janelle, to somebody who is sitting back where you started with us? They got a couple clients, they're making $500, $1,000 a month, but they're still struggling to gain that traction.
So I hope someone can learn from my number one mistake. Stop listening to everyone. Like, really, everyone has their own opinion as to how you should run your business. Everybody has their opinion as to how you should train a client. Everybody has their opinion as to what should all be included in a program. Everybody has their opinion. But that doesn't mean you need to take it. And that was my mistake. I asked so many people for help because I wanted options, right? I wanted options, and then I could pick the best. And what ended up happening was it overwhelmed me, it confused me, and then I shut down because I didn't know where to go, because all of a sudden I had too much floating around in my head. So find your person that you trust that has the same values as you, and just have that one person for business, and have even a second, a different person for fitness that you go to, that you trust. Yes, grab all the opinions, but that doesn't mean you need to take them, right? So just stop listening to everyone and think that you need to apply what they have to your business, because what works for them isn't going to work for you necessarily, usually all the time. And you are smarter than you think you are. And you got to trust that. Find what works for you, not for someone else. That's what makes you special and unique. And the right clients are going to find you. Because if you start working with the wrong clients, the right ones aren't going to find you, because you're going to be too busy and exhausted dealing with these other guys that you're just waiting for the time to end, right? Trust yourself. You're smart. And stop listening to everybody.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Janelle, for sharing your story with us. We are so proud of the progress you've made. It's been awesome to watch your journey so far, and we're really excited about what the next 6 months are going to bring for you as well. Because like I said, you're just getting started here, and then there's so much potential with where you're going, because you do have clarity now on what you need to do. You do have that confidence now that you can do this and you can build the type of business you want. And it's been so awesome watching this growth. So if you're watching this interview, if you're watching it on Facebook, feel free to pop questions in the chat for Janelle to answer. I'm sure she'll check it out later. But thank you for joining us today. Thank you again, Janelle. And everybody, we'll talk to you next week with our next interview. Bye-bye.
Bye.